Today on Monkey Life, a critically endangered species arrives at the park.
They've been bounced from pillar to post, and we're simply being moved around from A to B in a birdcage.
Chimp Ben meets Bachelor big boss Butch.
Obviously anything can happen, but either I like you or I don't like you, and if I don't like you, I'll jump on you and beat you up, and if I do like you, we'll hang out together.
And on me head, son, Dad-to-be Gordon hasn't got the hang of football, but is loving the idea of fatherhood. This is Monkey World in Dorset. Tucked away deep in the English countryside, it's the largest sanctuary for monkeys and apes on the planet. And this is Dr. Alison Cronin, the primate's best friend. Alison and her team spend their lives rescuing...
What about you? Oh, too skinny.
...and rehabilitating primates from all over the world.
That's good.
They currently look after more than 240 monkeys and apes from 15 different species. But that number's about to increase. Alison and the team often rescue pet monkeys from poor conditions, following calls from concerned members of the public. They also work with police and animal welfare groups. And they carry out their own undercover investigations.
This is actually an open-air attachment to the outside of the whole pet shop. Now, it's actually reasonably warm in here right now during the daytime, but at nighttime this will be cold, and there's no heat in here.
Today, 2 new monkeys have arrived at the park, following a combined investigation by police and the RSPCA. They were discovered by officers investigating a man in Kent suspected of puppy farming.
So what are they being fed?
Mealworms.
Mealworms.
Kent police gave me a call and said they needed some help urgently, and could we take hold of and care for a pair of cotton-top tamarins.
It was an intriguing prospect for the park. Monkey World has never been asked to look after cotton tops before.
I had actually been speaking to the police officers involved with the case a couple of weeks ago, and Kent police intended on confiscating a pair of tamarins and having us assist them. And then all of a sudden, this week, I got a phone call from the police saying, ooh, something else has come undone. We were raiding puppy farms with RSPCA, and we found a pair of cotton-top tamarins, and we think they might be the same pair. Can we bring them to you?
He's quite near the door.
Cotton-top tamarins come from Colombia, but they are now thought to be more in captivity than living wild in their native home. There may be as few as 1,000 of these critically endangered primates still left in the wild. Their numbers have dwindled due to mass deforestation and the illegal pet trade.
Putting a waxworm in the box just to see if he'll go in by himself, but he seems quite worked up.
The cotton tops have been put in a temporary bedroom, but now Toby and Colin from the primate care team need to catch them for a health check.
There you go.
They seem nervous, and no one is sure how much human contact they've had in the past.
They were kept just in a bird cage, basically, a small parrot cage with a nest box inside. So had no outside enclosure, no access to natural sunlight, and were simply being moved around from A to B in a bird cage.
I think it's quicker just to net him, less stressful.
You land on my head, just go.
I think Uncas and Alice, which they've been christened after Last of the Mohicans, doing really well here. But, you know, I'd like to try and find out more about their past and where they've come from.
But as the pair don't come with a full history, a health check could provide some answers.
Perfect. All right, okay.
If that slide isn't locked.
Yeah, that's all right. Good.
Vet Mike Nathan is in charge of proceedings. Alice is first.
This is very Heath Robinson.
Mike puts the crate in a plastic bag and fills it with gas, a less intrusive anaesthetic procedure for small primates.
This is giving us an opportunity to examine her, weigh her, do some basic tests, check her microchip, and then it's all done in one go rather than upsetting her each time we need to do anything with her. That's worked nicely.
She's starting to wriggle.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
A careful examination of Alice is very revealing.
Right, she's got no obvious incisors. Her canines are worn, so I would say it's old. It'll be interesting in comparison to see what
The
Uncas
chap
is
that
like.
was offering her for sale was selling this pair as a 5-year-old breeding pair. So based upon her dentition, you would say that that was
I
alive.
suspect she's older than that. Right, the
It
first
just
thing I
goes
want
to
do
show
is
the pet trade. It's like the Wild West out there. People are able to make up whatever they want to about these animals. Cotton-top tamarins have a life expectancy of up to, say, 15 years approximately. And this female, I suspect, is 15 or even older. This is a grandma cotton-top.
Right, we'll do the same thing with Uncas.
No.
No, there's no, yeah, I'm not, yeah.
While the cotton tops are being examined, keeper Toby gives their temporary home a clean-out.
At the moment, we have to clean in and around them, so we're just taking the opportunity while they're not in the enclosure to just give it a very, very quick sweep out, and then we'll put their food and water back in because we had to take it away, obviously to prepare them for being gassed down.
Back at the hospital, Mike is examining Uncas, the male cotton top. His teeth show he could well be 5 years old, but he has another dental issue.
Right, that canine here, the lower one here, is definitely snapped off. If it gives him a problem, we can deal with it. I'm quite happy with his condition, and they can go back singing away.
Later, Uncas and Alice the cotton tops are on the move. But what happens when they meet the park's marmosets? The cotton tops and marmosets aren't the only primates in the park having to adapt to a new lifestyle. Young chimp Ben is halfway through his graduation from the nursery to an adult group. He's joining the Bachelors, and so far, his meetings with middle and lower-ranking members have gone well. However, later today, he's going to meet Butch, the Bachelor's alpha male. But at the moment, Butch and the boys have got other things on their minds. They've got visitors in their enclosure. In the wild, chimpanzees have a mainly vegetarian diet, but if the opportunity arises, they will eat meat. Organised groups of chimps have been seen hunting, catching and eating colobus monkeys, as well as small antelope and wild pigs. At the park, the chimps enjoy a varied diet of fruit and vegetables, and there's always enough to go round. So much so that occasionally uninvited guests turn up. The Bachelor chimps may look relaxed, but they don't miss much. And they're always curious. Mojo thinks he's got them cornered. But these rabbits have played this game before. Gypsy has a look too. but gives up, leaving a brave bunny free to sneak out in search of leftovers. But if he's not careful, he could end up on the menu. This time, it's alpha male Butch who's interested. Leader of the Bachelors, Butch, likes to know what's happening on his patch. But these two have worked out if you keep a low profile and stick to the long grass, there is such a thing as a free lunch. There are more than 240 primates living in the 65-acre park that makes up Monkey World, and it's important to Alison and the team that they all find a group they can coexist with. The last 18 months have been tough on young chimp Ben. Having outgrown the nursery, the park's efforts to introduce him to Hananya's family group didn't work out. Over the last few weeks, the team have been attempting to slowly integrate him into the Bachelors. This gradual introduction process is important and carefully planned. It means Ben won't feel insecure and vulnerable with the group's higher rankers. His old nursery pals Seamus and Turkish Charlie were delighted to be reunited. And since then, he's also palled up with Mojo and Sammy. But it's another big day for Ben. He's about to meet Butch, the Bachelor's alpha male.
It's important to get Butch in because he's still the main man. Obviously anything can happen, but either I like you or I don't like you, and if I don't like you, I'll jump on you and beat you up, and if I do like you, we'll hang out together, and that's, or if I'm indifferent, then we won't do nothing. We're all very well aware of what chimpanzees can do, and yes, I mean, it can be terminal.
Butch and some of the Bachelors are in their outdoor enclosure. Ben's let out and is greeted by Mojo. He and Sammy stick by Ben to provide close support. Butch is the second alpha male Ben has met, and as things didn't go too well with Hananya, it's understandable he's a little wary.
Put Mojo in because Mojo will be very protective, and Mojo's a big lad, he's a good ally. You know, if you've got an ally, make it a good ally, and that might protect him.
Butch has noticed the newcomer, but a cautious Ben decides to keep out of his way. Butch sits it out to see how things develop, and eventually Ben plucks up the courage to approach, with Mojo as close support. But once close to the big alpha male, loses his nerve and heads off. Jeremy's satisfied the introduction is going well so far, but to make sure it stays that way, more of the other chimps are let outside.
I'm going to let Jimmy out into it.
The newly released chimps prove a distraction for Butch, who sets off to show everyone just who's boss. This time, Ben's tactics have paid off. He's kept out of the way and kept his allies close.
I think Ben's a very ambitious boy. It'd be very interesting to see what Ben's like in 4 or 5 years. But he's also bright, so he knows what buttons to press or not, and he knows how to get out of it if it goes bad. That's what I'm seeing, and that isn't a guarantee that he's not going to get hurt or anything, but it's going to help him. It's going to reduce the odds.
All the primate species across the park are constantly learning to adapt to new situations. In Gordon's orangutan group, little Kai is finding that life with Mum is changing. He's now 4 years old, and although he doesn't know it, he'll soon have a little half-brother or sister. Mum Xiao Kuai is heavily pregnant. She's happy to still have him around, but is also finding the need for a little me time. Her baby bump is certainly showing, but she still needs to keep active. And, as orangutans can be a bit sedentary, Keeper Penny has come up with a plan to stimulate the whole group.
We're actually going to put some balls in, and we're hoping that Gordon's group will actually see that they're balls, they can be played with and not eat them. Chances are they're probably going to pop them within 5 seconds, but you never know until you try, so quite excited, looking forward to seeing what they're going to do. This is an enrichment that doesn't involve food, so rather than involving food, whether it be nice stuff, savoury stuff, it's something for them to play with that they're not going to actually put any weight on and hopefully burn a few pounds as well.
But Xiao Kuai is convinced the balls contain a tasty tidbit, and despite her expanding waistline, is determined to find out. Xiaolan takes no time removing the outer layer, peeling it just like an orange. And, after a lacklustre attempt at playing ball, is disappointed to find there's nothing inside. Xiao Kuai's made the same discovery, so isn't too bothered when Gordon decides 2 footballs are more fun, even if they are punctured. Kai agrees they make a great toy. When his baby brother or sister arrives, he's going to need to become a bit more independent. So it's a good thing he's got Dad-to-be Gordon as a role model, even if he's not quite taking the mature approach to fatherhood just yet. Earlier, Alice and Uncas, the Colombian cotton-top tamarins, were passed fit by Mike the vet. But they're a totally new species for the park, which left Alison and the team with a problem: where to house them. Luckily, Alison has a plan.
The best thing to do is to try and mix them with our Bachelor group of common marmosets. There's plenty of space, it's just whether or not the common marmosets will accept the cotton tops and vice versa.
There's only one way to find out. The primate care team have crated up Alice and Uncas and are about to release them in the marmoset's bedroom.
Marmosets and tamarins have a similar social setup. They pair bond for life, and then the females give birth to generally twins, and after they've had one set of offspring, those youngsters will help look after any future siblings. The 2 species wouldn't encounter each other in the wild because cotton tops only come from Colombia and common marmosets only come from Brazil.
Open it.
The team have no idea how the 2 species will react to each other, so stand by just in case.
Hopefully they're just such vastly different things that assuming the cotton tops don't launch an assault, that it will be just a nothing.
Well, they've got to look pretty intimidating to the marmosets.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that. They sort of worry me a bit just as is.
Sex, yeah.
I mean, they just look scary. So I think the female is actually sort of threatening and being violent, either to her own reflection in the glass, which, I mean, just goes to show, I mean, how aggressive the cotton tops can be. Well, I mean, what do you think? I think she's threatening her reflection.
Yeah, it seems to be whenever she's by the window.
We'll have to watch out and make sure that that sort of aggression towards another perceived Cottontot doesn't turn into a threat against the common marmosets.
But it's the marmosets who seem keen to take on the Mohican-haired Cottontops.
That's a nice.
That's Marcel's tactic, hide under the log and pull someone's tail.
He deserves something for that.
Marcel
Had a
again.
sneaky bite, yep, at her tail, yeah. Thump him. She's gonna thump you.
He's pretty much the lowest ranking of the 4 boys, Marcel, so wherever he feels he's got something to prove a bit.
But,
I'll say no one else is backing him
yeah,
up.
I mean, I'm not too bothered if it is just, hopefully he'll get bored of it. That was quite nice. She just forcefully pushed along and she didn't do anything, but she definitely pushed him out of the way.
The initial meeting between the two species has gone well, but Alison feels the future is still unpredictable.
Even though these two have come to us as a pair, they've been bounced from pillar to post, and I don't know how many previous owners they've had or what they've even been subjected to. So for us, it's going to be a case of monitoring their behavior closely and seeing just how crazy and how abused they have been.
Next time on Monkey Life. Reluctant lemur Kaya hides from her new family. And orangutan foster mum Ame tries an unusual way of avoiding hers.